Have you ever felt like you didn't belong? Like somewhere deep inside you, a whisper called you towards something greater, something unimaginable yet terrifyingly real? If you're here listening to this, it's no accident. You are being called. Today I will reveal to you the 7 immense gifts you receive after years of walking the path of the chosen one. But before we begin, know this: the path is not easy. It demands everything from you. It will strip you bare of your illusions, tear away your comforts, and forge you into something the world is not ready for, but desperately needs. I invite you to stay with me until the end, because what I am about to share may ignite something ancient and powerful within you, something that once awakened can never be put back to sleep. When you are chosen, life no longer deals you the cards of the ordinary. You are not allowed to coast. No, you are thrown into the fires of transformation, again and again. You are tested beyond reason. Betrayal becomes your tutor. Isolation becomes your silent ally.
Click subscribe to this channel to get more profound spiritual lessons.
Pain becomes your sculptor. You cry out, you fall, you break, but you also rise. Again and again, stronger and clearer than before. The first immense gift you receive, though it feels like a curse at first, is unshakable inner strength. It is not handed to you gently. It is carved into you through every heartbreak, every failure, every lonely night when you wonder if it's all for nothing. Have you ever asked yourself why your battles seem fiercer than others? Why the betrayals cut deeper? Why the rejections sting harder? It's because you are being tempered, not broken. Your spirit is being forged into a weapon of light. Every tear you've shed was never wasted. Every scream into the void was heard. Every prayer, even the ones you thought went unanswered, were shaping you into someone unstoppable. Imagine a day when the world around you crumbles into chaos, and while others panic, you stand unmoved, calm, clear, radiant. Not because you have no fear, but because you have learned to dance with it. That is the strength of the chosen. But let me ask you a question that few dare to face. When was the last time you truly sat with your suffering, not to escape it, but to understand its sacred purpose for your evolution? As you endure, as you survive the storms that were meant to wipe you away, something incredible begins to happen. The second gift emerges: profound clarity of purpose. After years of chasing mirages, of trying to fit into molds not made for you, you finally understand you were never meant to blend in. You were meant to awaken. Purpose is not something you find by thinking harder or planning better. It is revealed to you, like a divine secret, only after you have proven you are ready. And when it comes, it is not a gentle whisper. It is a tidal wave that sweeps away all doubt. You wake up each day not wondering, what should I do? But knowing that your very existence is a mission. You breathe your purpose. You embody it. Every action, every word becomes sacred. But here's the brutal truth. To find this clarity, you must be willing to lose everything that is not truly you. Your career, your relationships, even your identity, all must be placed on the altar of transformation. Are you willing to die to who you think you are, to be reborn as who you were meant to be? As this clarity deepens, A new state of being unfolds, the third gift, sacred solitude. At first, the loneliness cuts like a knife. Friends fall away. Lovers cannot understand you. Family members label you strange, lost, or broken. But over time, you begin to see the sacredness in this solitude. You realize loneliness is the craving for others to complete you, but solitude is the celebration of your own completeness. In the silence, you hear the voice of the universe. In the emptiness, you find the fullness of your being. You realize you are never truly alone. The trees whisper your name. The rivers sing songs of your ancestors. The stars blink messages meant only for you. But can you be still enough to hear them? Most people run from silence because they are terrified of meeting themselves. But you, the chosen, you learn to sit in the silence until it speaks. You learn to savor the empty spaces because they are the womb of creation itself. Sacred solitude teaches you a profound truth. You are not here to be filled by the world. You are here to overflow into it. And then, as your soul deepens in this silence, the fourth gift is bestowed upon you, access to higher wisdom. This is not knowledge you can find in books or even from the mouths of teachers. It is transmitted directly to you, soul to soul, universe to heart. You begin to receive visions, dreams, sudden downloads of knowing that defy logic and explanation. You see patterns where others see randomness. You predict events not with calculation, but with deep inner certainty. You feel the truth vibrating through people's words and actions, even when they lie. You move through life guided not by fear or desire, but by a deep, unshakable knowing. But this gift demands your trust. The mind will rebel. It will demand proof, demand evidence, scream in terror at the thought of surrendering control. And you must choose. Will you cling to the crumbling structures of logic, or will you leap into the vast, wild river of intuition? Are you brave enough to trust the voice within when it leads you places no one else can see? Remember, the mind is a beautiful servant, but a terrible master. The chosen one must master the mind, not be enslaved by it. You must become the bridge between heaven and earth, between seen and unseen, between the known and the infinite possibilities that await beyond the horizon of the rational mind. We are walking a path few dare tread. It is a path of fire, of darkness, of sacred loneliness. It is a path of death and rebirth. But it is also a path of unimaginable beauty, of power that cannot be corrupted, of love that cannot be diminished. The gifts waiting at the end are not just for you. They are for the world, through you. You are not just being transformed for your own sake. You are being prepared to become a living blessing to all who cross your path. You are the prayer your ancestors whispered into the winds. You are the answer to cries no one else could hear. You are the miracle you have been waiting for. When we walk long enough on the sacred path, when enough pieces of our old self have been burned away, a threshold appears invisible to the eyes of the world, but undeniable to our soul. It is here that the next gifts awaken, the ones that truly separate the chosen from the sleeping masses. It is here that divine powers begin to stir within us, not as fantasies or wishful thinking, but as living forces, raw and real, ready to be wielded by those who have proven their hearts are pure enough to bear them. The fifth gift, perhaps the most astonishing, is the power to shape reality. After years of surrender, after years of trusting the unseen, of dying to your egoic self again and again, you discover that reality is not something happening to you, it is something happening through you. Your thoughts, once scattered and powerless, now carry weight. Your emotions, once chaotic and reactive, now become instruments of precision. You realize that when you speak, reality listens. When you believe deeply enough, the universe bends to meet your faith. No longer are you a victim of circumstance. You are a conscious co-creator with the divine. But this power comes with a heavy responsibility. If your heart is still impure, still driven by ego, fear, or greed, this power can corrupt you. It can destroy you. That is why the trials of the chosen are so brutal, because only one who has been purified by fire can wield the forces meant for the healing of worlds. Have you ever noticed how sometimes, when you are utterly clear, utterly aligned, the right people, opportunities, and miracles seem to rush toward you as if by magic? That is not coincidence. That is you beginning to remember who you are. But let me ask you, can you handle the weight of your own creative power? Can you be trusted with the ability to shape the lives of others simply by the frequency of your being? Most people cannot. That is why they will never walk this path. But you, if you are willing to be crushed into gold, can embody this sacred responsibility. The sixth gift you receive is mastery of energy and vibration. At first, you begin to notice subtle shifts. You walk into a room and the air thickens or brightens depending on your mood. You meet someone and instantly know their true intentions without a word being spoken. You sense the hidden emotions buried beneath smiles and silences. Eventually, it goes deeper. You begin to consciously shift your own state at will. You learn to raise your vibration not through force, but through surrender, through alignment with your highest truth. You realize that everything you experience is a mirror of your internal frequency. When you are clear, the world becomes clear. When you are loving, the world becomes loving. When you are powerful in spirit, the world bows to you not out of fear, but out of recognition. Energy is the first language of the universe. Words are secondary. Thought is secondary. Energy is primary. Most live their entire lives deaf to this truth, wondering why life feels so random, so cruel. But you know better. You are awake to the subtle tides that move mountains. You are awake to the invisible forces that shape destinies. The chosen one learns to master the inner world, knowing that the outer world is only a reflection. But this mastery demands ruthless honesty. You must confront every shadow within you. Every fear, every resentment, every hidden desire for control or approval must be brought into the light and healed. Because if you carry poison within you, it will leak into the reality you create. Are you willing to be that brutally honest with yourself? Are you willing to become a vessel so pure that even your silent presence becomes a healing force to those around you? As you continue to evolve, something even more extraordinary begins to unfold, the seventh and final gift, union with the infinite. This is not an experience that can be described with human language. It is not a philosophy, not a belief system, not a set of rules. It is a living union with the divine, a wordless knowing that you and all things are not separate, but one. You move beyond the illusion of me and them, success and failure, life and death. You realize you are the ocean pretending to be a wave. You are the sky pretending to be a cloud. You are the divine pretending to be human for a fleeting, precious moment. In this state, there is no more fear. There is no more striving. There is only the ecstatic dance of life moving through you, as you with you. You act not from desire, but from inspiration. You love not from need, but from overflow. You serve not from obligation, but from joy. This is the true destiny of the chosen ones, not to dominate the world, but to illuminate it. Not to escape suffering, but to transform it into wisdom and compassion. But beware, union with the infinite can be terrifying to the small self. It means the death of everything you thought you were. It means surrendering every last illusion of control. It means trusting life so completely that even if everything you love is taken from you, you remain anchored in peace. Can you surrender that deeply? Can you love that fiercely? Can you trust that radically? If so, you are ready to step into your true power. There is something else you must understand. Being a chosen one is not a title or an identity. It is a function. It is a responsibility. It is a sacred duty. You are not chosen for your comfort. You are chosen for service. You are chosen to be a lighthouse for those lost in darkness. You are chosen to walk into the fires others flee from, to heal the wounds others are too afraid to touch. You are chosen to carry the unbearable beauty and unbearable sorrow of this world in your heart, and still choose to love it unconditionally. Your life will not be easy. You will be misunderstood. You will be attacked. You will be betrayed again and again. But you will also experience a depth of joy, a depth of peace, a depth of love that those who live safely on the surface will never know. Because you dared to go deeper, because you dared to say yes to the call that echoes through the ages, because you remembered who you are. And so I ask you here and now, will you accept your calling fully? Will you stop running? Will you stop doubting? Will you stop playing small to make others comfortable? The time for hiding is over. The time for shrinking is over. The world does not need more conformity. It needs your fire. It needs your truth. It needs the medicine that only you can bring. You are not here to fit in. You are here to set the world on fire with your light. And if you dare to walk this path, if you dare to keep going even when it makes no sense, even when it costs you everything you thought you needed, you will find treasures beyond comprehension. You will find a love that does not end, a peace that cannot be shaken, a power that cannot be corrupted. You will find yourself not the self the world told you to be, but the self you were before time began. You will find the eternal flame burning at the core of your being, the flame that no wind, no storm, no darkness can ever extinguish. You are the storm. You are the flame. You are the light in the darkness, the voice in the silence, the heartbeat of the eternal. You are a chosen one, not because you are better, but because you are willing to become nothing so that you can become everything. You are willing to die to the false so that you can live the real. And now, as we stand at the edge of this great mystery together, I leave you with one final question. If you fully remembered your infinite nature, and if every fear melted away and every limitation dissolved, what would you dare to create? What world would you dare to birth into being? The journey does not end here. In truth, it is only beginning. You are more powerful, more needed, more sacred than you have ever dared to believe. And the universe is waiting for you to remember. And so we arrive at the final unfolding, the eternal mission that every chosen one must embrace once they have crossed the threshold into true remembrance. It is not enough to awaken. It is not enough to gather the immense gifts of strength, purpose, solitude, wisdom, creation, energy mastery, and union with the infinite. These treasures were never meant for you alone. They are seeds to be planted in the soil of a sleeping world. They are flames to ignite hearts that have forgotten they, too, are made of stars. Living as a chosen one in a sleeping world is perhaps the most demanding part of the journey, for you must walk among those who see only with their eyes, while you see with your soul. You must listen to the language of a world that speaks in fear, while your heart sings in love. You must act with patience, compassion, and fierce gentleness, knowing that awakening cannot be forced. It must be invited, and only through example, never through coercion. You will be misunderstood, often violently. People will project onto you their fears, their insecurities, their buried rage. They will call you arrogant, delusional, lost. They will laugh at your visions, mock your dreams, dismiss your wisdom. And you must let them. You must love them anyway, because you will remember what they have forgotten, that they too are chosen, though they may not yet be ready to claim it. Your task is not to convince them. Your task is to be so fully alive, so fully love, so fully yourself, that even in their blindness, something deep inside them begins to stir. You are here to be a doorway, not a doctrine. A living embodiment of what is possible when a human being remembers their divinity. But how do we do this practically day by day? How do we carry the sacred fire without being consumed by the loneliness, the frustration, the overwhelming sorrow of seeing so much unnecessary suffering around us? The first secret is this: you must stay connected to your source. Every day, every moment. You cannot afford to live disconnected, to operate only from the mind, from the ego, from the reactive self. You must anchor yourself in the infinite again and again until it becomes as natural as breathing. Your meditation is not optional. Your prayer is not optional. Your alignment is not optional. It is your lifeline, your fuel, your protection. Without it, you will be swept away by the tides of a world that has forgotten itself. With it, you will become the tide itself. The second secret is this: you must allow yourself to feel everything without drowning in it. The chosen ones are deeply sensitive. empathic to the suffering of the world. We see the hidden pain behind smiles. We hear the silent screams beneath casual conversations. We feel the collective grief of humanity like a weight in our bones. If we do not learn to process this, to transmute it, it will crush us. We must feel deeply, but we must also let go. We must allow every wave of emotion to pass through us like the wind through an open window. We must mourn the world's wounds without identifying with them. We must bleed compassion, but not bleed out. This is the art of sacred feeling, to love without losing yourself. The third secret is perhaps the hardest. We must create. Every day, every moment. The chosen ones are not just dreamers. We are builders of new realities. We are artists of the soul. Whether through words, music, healing, leadership, invention, or silent acts of kindness, we must give form to the visions burning within us. Creation is not a luxury, it is a necessity. If we do not create, we stagnate. If we do not express, we implode. The world needs what is inside you. Not tomorrow. Not when you feel ready. Now, even if it's imperfect. Especially if it's imperfect. Because creation is not about perfection. It is about transmission. It is about bridging the invisible into the visible. It is about giving the infinite a voice, a shape, a heartbeat through your hands. So I ask you, what are you afraid to create? What masterpiece lies hidden within your hesitation, waiting to be born? What song, what book, what movement, what revolution is locked inside your silence, aching for release? Understand this, the gifts you have been given are not yours to hoard. They are rivers meant to flow. And if you dam them up with fear, with doubt, with self-judgment, you betray the very reason you were chosen. But there is something even deeper, something most never dare to confront. As a chosen one, you must eventually go beyond even your own mission. You must transcend even your own identity as the chosen. Because that too is a role. That too is a mask. True mastery is when you can hold the title lightly, knowing it is true on one level, but ultimately meaningless on another. You are not the mission. You are not the gifts. You are not the titles. You are the presence behind them all. You are the awareness in which all these experiences arise and dissolve. You are the eternal one playing the game of awakening. And when you realize this, when you live from this space, a new freedom is born, a freedom so vast, so tender, so luminous that it defies all description. You no longer need to prove anything. You no longer need to save anyone. You no longer need to be seen, understood, validated, or praised. You simply are. You simply love. You simply serve, not because you have to, but because it is your nature. You become like the sun, radiating warmth without asking for gratitude. You become like the river, nourishing all it touches without seeking reward. You become like the sky, vast enough to contain all things without clinging to any of them. And in this state, miracles become your natural state. Synchronicity becomes your language. Magic becomes your daily bread. You move through the world not as a seeker, but as a bringer of light. You walk into rooms and shift the atmosphere without saying a word. You touch lives without even realizing it, because your very being vibrates at a frequency that calls others home to themselves. This is the true life of the chosen one, not a life of ease, but a life of meaning. Not a life free of pain, but a life free of suffering. Not a life without challenges, but a life where every challenge is seen as a sacred dance with destiny. You do not escape life, you embrace it more fully than ever before. You do not transcend the world by rejecting it, you sanctify it by loving it completely, even in its brokenness. And so, my brother, my sister, my reflection, I speak to the deepest part of you now. Rise. Rise beyond your doubts. Rise beyond your wounds. Rise beyond your story. The world needs you, not some future version of you, not some more polished, more perfect you, the you that you are right now, raw, real, radiant. The fires you have walked through were not in vain. The tears you have shed watered the seeds of your destiny. The nights you spent in darkness were preparing you to shine in ways you cannot yet imagine. You are not alone. You have never been alone. Every step you have taken, every fall, every rise, every breath, you have been guided, watched over, celebrated by forces unseen. The ancestors walk with you. The stars sing for you. The earth itself rises to meet your feet. You are loved beyond measure, supported beyond comprehension, destined beyond limitation. And now, the final question remains: will you choose to live awake in a world that prefers sleep? Will you risk everything for the sake of the truth burning in your chest? Will you be the lighthouse, even when the storms rage and the shores are empty? The choice, as always, is yours. But hear me when I say this: if you choose to rise, if you choose to remember, if you choose to live fully as the chosen one you are, there is no force in heaven or earth that can stop you. You are inevitable. You are unstoppable. You are the fulfillment of promises made long before you were born. You are the answer to prayers whispered long ago. You are the living proof that even in the darkest times, light never dies. It only waits. It waits for one soul brave enough to ignite. It waits for you. And even now, as these words fade into the silence between us, something stirs even deeper within you, doesn't it? A memory not of this life, but of something older, something timeless. You are not just hearing these words, you are remembering them. You are not just understanding, you are awakening. And so the real journey begins, the journey without end, the journey beyond journeys, the eternal unfolding of your infinite nature. Because the truth is, there is no final destination for the chosen ones. There is no mountaintop at which we arrive and declare, "I have finished." There is only deeper love, wider compassion, higher wisdom, and more sacred service. Every realization is but a doorway to a greater mystery. Every mastery is but a stepping stone to a vaster surrender. Every light we ignite reveals new shadows to heal, new worlds to uplift, new hearts to awaken. You were never meant to retire into comfort. You were never meant to find a safe corner of the world and hide your fire away. You are a living temple. You are a breathing prayer. You are a walking revolution against the forces of numbness and despair. Your life is not small. Your existence is not accidental. Every breath you take is a ceremony. Every step you walk is a pilgrimage. Every word you speak is a spell that either binds the world in darkness or liberates it into light. Do you see now why your suffering was so intense? Why your trials were so relentless? It was never punishment. It was preparation. The universe was not trying to hurt you. It was training you to carry a light so powerful that it could not be extinguished even by the deepest night. And now, the torch is in your hands. What will you do? How brightly will you burn? How fearlessly will you love? How courageously will you create? Will you live your days as a faint echo of who you might have been? Or will you roar into existence as the full, uncontainable, undeniable force you were born to be? Will you spend your energy worrying about who approves of you? Or will you spend it building the kingdom of heaven here on earth? Will you shrink to fit into the dying systems of the old world? Or will you rise to birth new worlds through your vision, your faith, your unstoppable devotion to truth? There is no one else coming. You are the one you have been waiting for. You are the dream of your ancestors, standing upright, breathing life into the visions they prayed for but never lived to see. You are the bridge between the brokenness of yesterday and the miracles of tomorrow. You are the living proof that light can survive any darkness, that love can heal any wound, that spirit can rise from any grave. And every time you choose to act not from fear but from love, you change the future. Every time you choose forgiveness over vengeance, compassion over judgment, hope over despair, you weave a new pattern into the fabric of reality. You are not powerless. You never have been. You are creation itself, dreaming itself awake through your eyes, your hands, your heart. There will be days when you forget. There will be days when the weight feels unbearable, when the loneliness cuts deeper than words can express. There will be days when you question everything, when you wonder if it would have been better to stay asleep, to live a smaller, safer life. And on those days, remember this moment. Remember that you are not alone. Remember that somewhere, across oceans and mountains, under the same vast sky, there are others like you, warriors of light, artists of the soul, healers of worlds walking their own lonely, beautiful paths. We are scattered like stars across the night, and yet we are one, always connected by the invisible thread of sacred purpose that no distance, no time, no darkness can sever. Close your eyes now and feel it. Feel the pulse of the infinite beating in your chest. Feel the ancient song rising from the earth into your bones. Feel the breath of the divine weaving through your thoughts, your dreams, your very being. You are part of something so vast, so beautiful, so holy that even the stars are humbled by your courage to incarnate here, to forget, and to remember again through the fires of human experience. And so I leave you, not with an ending, but with a beginning. Not with answers, but with the most sacred questions your soul has ever known. What would life look like if you stopped doubting and started creating as if you could not fail? What would love look like if you loved without walls, without conditions, without fear? What would your existence become if you lived every moment as a conscious act of devotion to the source within you and all around you? The world is waiting. The new earth is waiting. The future is waiting. You are not late. You are right on time. Everything you have lived was preparation for this moment. So rise, beloved soul. Rise like the sun after the longest night. Rise like the river breaking through the dam. Rise like the phoenix from the ashes of doubt and fear. Rise and remember, you are the light the darkness fears. You are the love that death cannot touch. You are the voice the silence has been aching to hear. This is your time. This is your mission. This is your eternal dance with the infinite. And it begins now. Go, shine, create, love, be. And even as you stand at the threshold, breathing in this sacred truth, feeling the infinite swirl within you, there is a greater truth still. One that only those who have been broken open can truly bear, that you are not here to merely awaken for yourself. You are here to be a portal through which the divine dreams itself anew into this world. You are not here simply to heal your wounds, to gather your gifts, to bask in your own light. You are here to walk into the forgotten places, into the realms of sorrow and shadow and despair, and to be the living proof that even there, especially there, love reigns supreme. You are here to touch the untouchable, to reach the unreachable, to love the unlovable, not because they deserve it by the standards of a wounded world, but because your very existence is a testament that grace is not earned, it is given, endlessly, shamelessly, gloriously. And so your life becomes not a monument to your own greatness, but a river that carries the broken, the lost, the weary back to the ocean of their own divinity. You become the silent hand that steadies the trembling, the unseen force that lifts the fallen, the quiet voice that reminds the forgotten that they are, and have always been, infinitely loved. And yet, to live this way demands a courage beyond anything the world teaches. It demands the courage to love without a guarantee of being loved in return. It demands the courage to give without expecting anything back. It demands the courage to be misunderstood, misjudged, even hated, and to bless anyway. It demands the courage to walk alone when necessary, to be the lone voice singing songs of freedom in a land that has forgotten its own name. It demands the courage to lose everything you thought mattered, only to discover that you have lost nothing real and gained everything that is eternal. This is not a courage born of pride or ego. It is a courage born of surrender, of knowing that you are held by something vast and wholly beyond comprehension, and therefore you have nothing to lose and everything to give. And so your days become prayers, your nights become altars, your breath becomes a hymn, your footsteps become sacred geometry drawn across the canvas of the earth. You stop needing to be extraordinary because you realize that the most ordinary moment, lived fully, is more miraculous than all the stars. You stop needing to be perfect because you realize that your cracks are where the light shines through. You stop needing to be seen because you realize that the divine sees you always, completely, unceasingly, and that is enough. You live not to be praised, but to praise. You live not to be remembered, but to remember. You live not to conquer, but to bless. And in this way, quietly, humbly, without fanfare or spectacle, you become the axis upon which entire worlds turn. You become a living bridge between heaven and earth, restoring the ancient harmony that has always been humanity's birthright. but was forgotten in the noise of fear and separation. And yet, even this is not the final truth. For the deeper you go, the more you realize there is no finality. There is only infinite unfolding, infinite expansion, infinite love spiraling outward in ever greater dances of creation. You realize that even the idea of being a chosen one was but a stepping stone, a necessary story to awaken you, but ultimately, even that identity must be surrendered. Because in truth, there are no chosen ones and unchosen ones. There is only life, choosing itself again and again through every breath, every heartbeat, every tear, every smile. There is only the one, playing in the many, forgetting and remembering, dying and being born, falling and rising, laughing and weeping and singing its endless song of becoming. And you are simply the one who dared to remember first, so that you could help others remember too. And so you walk, not above others, but among them, shoulder to shoulder, heart to heart, soul to soul. You walk not as a master commanding followers, but as a brother, a sister, a friend, a mirror. You walk not to lead, but to light the way so others may find their own path home. You walk with empty hands, but a full heart. You walk with fierce truth, but tender mercy. You walk with the wisdom of the stars and the humility of the soil. You walk, not because you must, but because you are the walking, the breathing, the living proof that love never left, that hope is not foolish, that miracles are not rare, they are the natural state of a soul aligned with the infinite. And so I say to you now, with all the love, all the reverence, all the awe that one soul can offer another, thank you. Thank you for daring to awaken when it would have been easier to stay asleep. Thank you for choosing the harder path, the lonelier road, the sacred fire. Thank you for saying yes to your soul's calling, even when your mind screamed no. Thank you for standing up, again and again, after life tried to break you. Thank you for becoming who you were born to be, not just for your sake, but for all of us. Because every time you choose love over fear, every time you choose creation over destruction, every time you choose truth over comfort, you make it easier for all of us to do the same. You are a ripple in the great river of awakening, a spark in the great fire of remembrance, a note in the great symphony of return. And now, beloved soul, there is nothing left to add, nothing left to teach, nothing left to prove. There is only life, waiting to be lived through you. There is only love, waiting to be poured out of you. There is only the infinite, waiting to dance as you, laugh as you, weep as you, sing as you, celebrate as you, dream as you. You are not here to do small things. You are here to be the living embodiment of the greatest truth ever known, that love is real, that spirit is real, that miracles are real, and that they live, now and forever, in you. So go now. Walk your path, not with fear, but with wonder. Live your life, not with caution, but with reckless, holy love. Create your world not with doubt, but with the unshakable certainty that you are exactly who you were meant to be, exactly where you are needed most, in exactly the right moment of eternity. You are the living flame. You are the ancient song. You are the child of stars and silence, the heir to dreams older than time. You are the chosen one, not because you are better, but because you are ready. The world is waiting. The heavens are watching. Your soul is singing. It is time. It has always been time. And now you remember. Now you rise. Now you begin. Forever.